Hey guys, this is Aegis, and it is Christmas Day, and I've opened up a present of a replay for you guys. This is going to be Gamania's Sen versus LiquidJinro. I haven't actually seen too many games from LiquidJinro recently, but I found this replay on Team Liquid's pro website in one of their replay packs, so I decided to pick it up and cast it. What better game to find than a Terran versus Zerg on my favorite map, Shakura's Plateau. And the Jinro is going to be not building a supply depot yet. Where's the supply depot? There it is, coming up for Jinro. And Sen is getting up his drone count. We'll probably see him do some sort of a fast expansion. Looks like he's going to go for the gas cancel. I remember someone telling me that it's been proven that it's bad, but I guess Sen might know even better. There's the supply depot finishing up for Jinro. Should be seeing a barracks come up real soon as well. And on this map, there's several different ways that it can play out. Terran does usually like to take a pretty fast expansion, and the Zerg player will either double expand or try to bust it down. It looks like Sen is sending out his drone to do the expanding action over here. Just scooting to the side to see if there's anything going on before throwing down the hatch. Very nice play there. Sometimes barracks and bunkers can be hidden in that corner. But Jinro looks like he's saved up to 400 minerals and will be going for a command center first. And it's going to be up to Sen to decide what he's going to be doing afterwards to be able to prevent the expansion or to out macro his opponent, as the Terran player is going to be sort of behind in terms of in terms of food for a while. The Zerg player can actually go ahead and expand, be able to get up that economy, and the Terran player won't have those essential Marine Marauder upgrades that will allow him to attack. And Jinro not even getting the gas, as we can see. He's just throwing down the 2 barracks at the front to be able to wall this off. His command center is about halfway complete. Sen is about to finish his expansion as well. He's mining the gas, so he's going to be able to get up a couple of those speedlings early in the game. We'll see if he decides to drone up hard after this by pulling everything off of gas, getting the mineral boost. Overlord does scoot all the way through Jinro's base. He sees that there's no orbital command, so he knows that the command center came up first. No need to scout the front to be able to know that. Bunch of Marines are going to get queued up here in just a moment. The SCVs are beginning mining at the natural expansion. Jinro are going to micro them to stay here. And there's the orbital command popping up both in the main and at the natural expansion. Sen is getting up his queens, and he's also getting scouted. He's continuing to mine gas even after starting Zergling speed, so this sort of tells me that he may be going for some sort of bust up at the front. His queens are finishing up. He's still making a couple of drones here or there. And Jinro is seeing the quivering of the spawning pool, should know that something is up. Seeing that Sen is continuing to mine the gas. Couple of additional Marines getting queued up, finally grabbing one of the gas inside of the main for LiquidJinro. And there's also a spine crawler coming up for Sen. Sen still making a couple of drones. Speed is about to finish. The Zerglings poke up to the front to see exactly what's going on. Still no Baneling's nest, and Sen has mined all the way up to 100, almost 200 gas, and still getting more drones. Maybe he forgot to pull guys off of gas. That's uncharacteristic of Sen. More Marines popping out for LiquidJinro, and he's also throwing up the final bits of this wall. He's also going to be moving out with a couple of those Marines. We'll see what he throws down next. There's another barracks on the way. Going to be throwing up a tech lab up top of his ramp as well. And there's a Baneling's nest on the way. 8-10 Zerglings in the production queue. So Sen is about to go try to bust this wall down, throwing Banelings at this wall. I think each Baneling does about 50 damage to buildings, so it takes like 10 Banelings to bust down a barracks. I'm not exactly sure. And even if that was correct there, 50 damage, I think I just did the calculation way wrong. And there's these Zerglings pouring across the field for Sen. I need a Baneling so I can check how much damage it can do. More Zerglings coming out, so no more drones for the moment for Sen. He's continuing to mine that gas, getting up a large amount to be able to get those Banelings out on the field, and there they are being created. That's 12 Banelings as well as 18 more Zerglings to follow up. Is Jinro ready? He's got no bunkers, so if this falls, he will have a lot of trouble dealing with those Zerglings, and it looks like the Baneling is now complete. They do... I thought there was a special building attack. Okay, there we go. 80 damage to structures, so about 12 Banelings to bust down a barracks. And there's a lift on one of the barracks, and there it lands once again. And all the Banelings sacrificing themselves to these two barracks. The Zerglings now running inside, getting very nice surface area, but there looks like there are just too many Marines out on the field. The Zerglings unable to do too much damage. The two barracks do land, and the SCVs begin the repairing action. Only 4 workers killed by Sen, and he's now trying to drone up really hard. 12 drones on the way. He's behind in terms of drones as of this moment, and Jinro with those mules will be able to make up for the loss of 4 SCVs very quickly. A lair is also on the way for Sen. He's going to be able to get up some additional tech, possibly go for Mutalisks afterwards, but that's going to be a lot of trouble to get up to, especially since he just spent so much gas on those Banelings trying to bust it down and was basically unable to do any damage at all. And there's Jinro now getting up his reactor on the factory. He will be able to swap that over for the starport, and Jinro even having a 3rd command center complete. This puts Sen very far behind, but there's still ways that he can win this. He can try to do some Mutalisk harassment, or perhaps go for some infestors. We do see a macro hatch coming up for Sen. Jinro with his mass Marines out in the field, now getting the stim pack up. It did delay the stim push quite a bit, so Sen is going to be safe for a short while. He's got Zerglings working on the back rocks over here as well, just in case of any annoying drop that decides to land in the corner. More Zerglings popping out for Sen. He's keeping them in between his 2 bases in case of drops, and the 2 medevacs are now on the way for Jinro. Floating out his 3rd command center will be able to secure that relatively quickly. Sen now floating in a Overseer. Looks like that will fall. A single changeling does get dropped, but it quickly gets killed off. The gas all getting taken by Jinro. He's got his medevacs out, so he's going to feel safe to move out onto the field. And now Sen continuing to drone, still not grabbing a 3rd expansion, and that is very far delayed in comparison to Jinro's 3rd base. There it is landing. Usually Sen would want to have this 3rd base about 2 minutes ago, but instead he is not even has it complete as of this moment. Looks like the 3rd base gets mining immediately. Also a bunker coming up back at home. More medevacs coming up, as well as siege tech and siege tanks now on the way. Jinro's going to play this nice and slowly, trying to make as few mistakes as possible. He knows that his opponent has already gotten quite a ways behind just because of that huge attack up at the front early on. And the Marines trapping a ton of Zerglings here. Looks like a bunch of Zerglings will get killed off. The Marines do stim up, and the medevacs will be able to heal them back up. It looks like a couple of SCVs may fall. No, it looks like Jinro's even preparing with those missile turrets right now. And the Spire is only about halfway complete. Sen's Mutalisks are going to run into a brick wall made of missile turrets and missiles. That's not something fun to run into. And Sen is now finishing up his 3rd base. He'll want to grab those 2 gases to be able to get a nice sustained Mutalisk production to even possibly try to overwhelm a couple of these turrets. Looks like Jinro is going to begin loading up to do some dropping action. His bunker at home continuing to hold the line. The Zerglings continuing to try to take control of these Xel'Naga watchtowers. The bunker is about to finish. Jinro needs to make sure that he doesn't get too out of position. Looks like the 2 medevacs about to drop, but the Queen and the Zerglings all in position, able to stop that drop from occurring. Sen spreading the Croup Tumors along the top edge of his base, going to be able to prevent Terran from dropping without him having sight of it. Looks like Jinro is going to be trying to move to the bottom corner. The Overlord does gain vision of that. Marines taking control of the Xel'Naga watchtowers as well. Still nothing mining at the third base. It's the 14-minute mark, and Jinro has been mining off of 3 bases for a long time. He's got tanks out on the field as well. They are sort of trapped inside of the main. Where is the rallying point? Yeah, they're trapped inside of the main. Looks like he's going to lower the supply depots, allow those tanks out. More missile turrets coming up for Jinro. And where are the Mutalisks? Did he make any Mutalisks? Yeah, there they are. Mutalisks out in the field right now, going to be checking out all of the areas up top, but the Marines all moving about the map right now. Sen is going to take out a small pack of Marines, but reinforcements for Jinro immediately arrive. And a scan going down, he's going to be able to pick off a couple of these creep tumors, moving forward just a small pack of Marines at a time, making sure that there are no banelings in the way to be able to take out his entire army. Jinro over here, not yet grabbing the second gas at his third base, continuing to flood those tanks out. Tanks taking the long way. I guess they're too fat to fit through this space. A couple of Mutalisks trying to attack the main, but oh no, Jinro ready with enough turrets to kill off an army of Mutalisks. Looks like they will try to engage, but turrets finish just in time. Repair is going to also go down. A drop back into the main for Jinro will also help him defend, and he's going to begin pushing out across the map with his not Zerglings, those are not Zerglings, but the Zerglings are coming as well. The Marine's gonna get killed off, and Jinro now setting up position next to these 2 central Zelnaga towers as Sen begins to take his 4th base. Jinro gonna be getting additional barracks up as well as his 4th base. Mutalisks trying to push to the side once again. Looks like the Marines able to deny that. They will swing to the bottom side. We'll see if they're able to do any damage to the natural expansion, which is actually surprisingly uncovered by missile turrets completely. So he will be able to take out a couple of SCVs if he does arrive at this location. Looks like he will manage to fly in here, take out a ton of those SCVs, 11 workers killed, and now the Marines are reinforcing. Sen now trying to pump out additional lings. He's trying to defend a ton of Marines being dropped off inside of the main. A scan going down. Jinro sees the massive army here, trying to pick up his Marines right now. Looks like he's dropping a couple at the bottom here, and he's continuing to push into the middle with his Sea Shanks. Going to be sieging those up and getting his Marines to clean up as much of this creep as possible. Sen is continuing to poke around with his Mutalisks, trying to do as much damage as possible, but there are Marines everywhere. Jinro having full coverage of all of his sides, and both players are now approaching max. Sen also banking up tons of money. Looks like he's going to be going for the push real soon. Banelings getting morphed inside the center of the map, and the Mutalisks are retreating. They will fly across a pack of Marines, and a couple of Mutalisks do fall, but Sen looks like he's going to be pushing forward. Where's the reinforcing Marine army? There are so many Mutalisks out in the field, and here comes the push. Zerglings, Banelings, and Mutas going to be flying into the center. The Sea Shanks are completely overwhelmed, with the Marines continuing to stutter step backwards. There's just a few Banelings remaining. Can they do it? Looks like they run right back to the huge army, and it looks like Sen will be forced to retreat. 16 Zerglings now on the way. A couple of tanks guarding the central watchtower, and 42 Zerglings now in the production queue. Sen still at 2,500 money, continuing to drop those vomits down so he can mass up a new army. It looks like Jinro pushing forward with his Marines and his single Sea Shank. He needs to get a couple of these Banelings up so he can take care of this army. Looks like the Zerglings are going to be engaging this Marine army right now. +3 attack is also on the way for those Marines. The Banelings being morphed. Sen trying to hang out for as long as possible. One Baneling does detonate. And where are those Mutalisks? They're still chilling in the corner. Now Thor's joining the field, and one Marine does get killed off, and here comes the push in. The Mutalisks and the Banelings rolling forward. There's a single Thor here trying to hold the line, but big attacks by those Thors. The Thor can actually clean up these Mutas very easily. Looks like the Marines do survive that attack. 25 Banelings on the way for Sen. He needs to crush this attack convincingly, or else he will lose this game, because Jinro is now taking his 4th base. The Thor getting trapped over here by a couple of those Zerglings, and the Marines chasing those Mutas. Over here, Sen trying to get a Spine Crawler to help delay this push for as long as possible. The Banelings now making their way up the ramp. Nice spreading by Jinro, but it looks like there's just too many Banelings here. Zerglings and Mutas cleaning everything up. The Medivacs also getting taken out, but Jinro with the huge macro is continuing to pump out units. And they're streaming across the map right now. The Zerglings and the Mutas now cleaning up these tanks over here. Looks like they will be able to do that, but is there enough to clean up this force over here as more and more Marines stim and run forward? Looks like Sen cleaning up all of these attacking units. Jinro is going to have to hold back for a while, or he's going to lose way too many units. Additional Banelings being morphed by Sen. He's still got a huge bank left over. It's just his gas that's running a little bit low. A couple of Marines now running into the center. A couple of Banelings will spawn, and the Sea Shanks holding the line here for Jinro. Sen is going to be able to pull back. He needs to take a couple of expansions soon. His main has run out, and he's grabbing this expansion over here. Looks like Jinro is going to be pushing towards that, trying to get it to cancel. It looks like he will be able to force the cancel down. The Marines do have +3 attack and +2 armor as of this point. And here comes the Zerg army, but there are way too many Marines pushing that Zerg army way back. He needs to get a couple of those Banelings up. 15 Banelings now on the way for Sen. 36 Zerglings going to be joining the field real soon, getting out additional Zerglings on the bottom. He needs to save his army so he can engage this all at once. Here he is pulling everything back. Banelings rolling to the top corner, and the Mutas now flying towards this planetary fortress, flying straight over those turrets, sacrificing a ton of those Mutas, and GG out of Sen. He just doesn't have the forces to deal with Jinro's huge army inside of the center of the map. He sees this 4th base, and he knows he doesn't have enough despite having a 2,400 in the bank. Jinro takes this game pretty well, not really convincingly, but quite well. He played very well is what I was trying to say. And Merry Christmas to you all, and I'll see you guys next time.